Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm going to show you how I assembled this Keter Storage Max garden shed. So the shed came in a manageable sized box and the total weight of the package was 28 kilos, and I was pleased to see it was all neatly arranged inside and nicely organised, and all the hardware and bits and bobs were all together and easy to access. So I started off by laying everything out to make it easier to assemble, and I used the cardboard to help me out to work on top of. So the first thing to do was to remove a metal brace which was being stored in the plastic base, and then I needed to add on the two side walls, and these just clicked into place. So you can see in the back left corner of the garden there, I recently bought and put together a Keter Darwin 6x4 shed, but since then I just need a little bit more storage space, and I had a corner of the garden free, so I thought this would be ideal to help me out with all my storage needs now. So you'll hear like an audible click when you push these into position. So now the next thing to do was to assemble the back panel, and this is in two pieces, and you need to be careful and look at the instructions because there's a certain way these go together, and there's some arrows to direct you as well. So once they were together, I just added the screws. If you'd like to see how I built the Keter Darwin 6x4 shed, I'll leave a link in the description below for that one also. So all these screws are self-tapping, no pilot holes are required. Then I needed to add the back panel, and it slides in, and you have to push the two side walls out slightly to get it in. So once that was in place, the metal support brace needs to go in at the top here. So now that was done, I needed to screw all the back together, going all the way round top, two sides and bottom with the screws provided, and I took my time here to make sure everything was correctly lined up. And if you're new to the channel, please feel free to check out my other DIY and gardening related videos, and also consider subscribing as well. So now it was time to assemble the roof. So there are two sides that click into the main part of the roof. And then a few screws are added to secure these sides in place. So now I added the latch to the roof. And then there's two gas or support struts which help the lid to lift up and assist it. So these also just screw into position too. Now I needed to get the lid on. It does say in the instructions, it advises for 2 people to do this, but I was on my own at this point, so I decided to try and do it myself, and it was actually no problem at all. There was no wind, and it balanced in position while I added the screws. So now I needed to add this little catch that goes on the bottom of one of the doors, and that helps the door to stay closed. And there's a few components that you need to push in to this hole at the bottom here. And then they lock in place. So then with the latch outwards, it was time to add the screws to the back of it to secure it into position. Now it was time to add the doors on. So you put these attachments over the hinged parts, and then the bottoms slide in, and then you push the top piece into these side walls and they click into place. And now for the doors, I'm going to add the lock onto the doors. So you push the one part of the lock into the other part. And then add the handle on with the hole facing towards the lock. and add a few screws into the back. And then the same with the other side. And then the latch goes over the lock, and you can add a padlock onto this if you want to. So that was the shed complete. I now just needed to get it onto its permanent base. You can add these chains that are provided, and that allows you to put your wheelie bins inside here, and when you lift up the lid of the shed, it lifts up the lid of the wheelie bins too, but I don't want it for that, so I'm not going to use those. So I made this wooden base specifically for this shed, and if you'd like to see a video on how I made it, I'll leave a link in the description box below for that. This base has adjustable feet so that I can get it level on an uneven surface, and once I'd made sure that it was sturdy, I then added the shed to it.
So that's about it for this video, guys. It was quite easy to assemble. Probably took me within an hour to do it. I took my time. Very simple, very easy to do, and I'm happy to say it's already rained and it's bone dry inside.
Let's take a look how dry it is inside. Absolutely bone dry,
and it looks pretty good, and it's quite robust as well. I'm pleased I bought it. So far so good. So in a future video I do plan on adding some shelving inside here, because this model does allow you to add your own shelving, and I'm also going to be anchoring it to the base. So if you're interested in that, please look out for that video. I will eventually add it to the description below. I'll add a link, and I'll also add a card up here somewhere. So if you found this video useful, please leave me a like, and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.